Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Serral first-person viewcast straight off his amazing Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Serral, one of the greatest players of all time. Many would argue the greatest of all time. And he's going to be playing a match up against Clem on the ladder. And not only is he playing a regular game, but he's actually refining a very special strategy. You guys saw me cast him on the fly, try out an Infestor Zergling style, skipping Banelings a few months ago and then rushing straight towards Ultralisks at Hivetech. Well, he's actually been refining that a little bit on the ladder. We still haven't seen him bring it out in a big tournament. I keep seeing him do slight variations of his normal builds and going, oh, is he going to do it? And I don't think we've seen it in a big tournament. Maybe he's done it in some online tournament that I've missed, but I'm really curious to see how it comes out. This is a big map, Ancient Cistern, and I think the big problem he had the first time when he actually played this build is that essentially he didn't build enough economy. He tried to like rush Infestors and do it in this kind of really gimmicky way. And I'd messaged him after I'd sawn that after I saw that game, and I was like, hey Serral, you know, that's actually a really good build, man. But I really feel you just need to do a normal opening and just skip Banelings, get the Infestors out a little bit earlier, but just focus on mass Zerglings and backstabs. And he was like, he actually responded to me. He said, thanks, man. Yeah, that style actually should get played off of a regular fast double Evo opening. He said, look, if you just do a normal opening, you go fast double Evo chamber, and then you just don't add the Baneling Nest and go up to lair, you can actually do it. He says, I actually had a different idea initially when I was playing that previous game. The idea sounded so good in my head, I wanted to save it for private practice games. That's why I ended up doing a weird Infestor rush, and it didn't really work out. So that was talking about the previous game. And now we get to see how he's refined it. Reaper Pressure comes in. Good micro so far. Does defend that Zergling.
Don't quite need that much gas.
Yeah. Doesn't need too much gas there. It's interesting. So he's mining a bit of extra gas right now, which makes it look kind of like an Overlord speed build.
Gas, I'm actually going to get Burrow here quick.
Yeah, he's pulled off gas now, and he's going...
Did I not make an Ovi? Oh, I did.
Wait. What?
I was already looking at my screen in disbelief that I forgot to make an Overlord.
He just started Burrow. Guys, he just started Burrow. Okay, I had no idea. I knew this was meant to be a game where he tried this Infestor Link builder. I had no idea he'd actually squeeze Burrow into this. This is awesome. So he's going to do Burrow. The only way this makes sense is if he floods Lings. So I think what he's going to do is with his next Injects popping, he's going to build big round of Zerglings. Actually, does that make sense? I don't think this build I'm missing something. I was going to say, sometimes you do a Ling Flood, you try to make their command center lift, and then you burrow Zerglings underneath, but that's not really very effective, especially at this level.
A bit on the faster side for sure.
You can definitely burrow to block the third base and that sort of stuff, but
heaps of Lings already.
He says we need to build heaps of Lings already. He's going to try and drone up the third base there as well. Obviously, guys, we will speak over each other a little bit. I heard a lot of the feedback on the last first-person view video and read through all the comments, and it's a lot of mixed feedback. Some said, just get rid of his audio. We just want to hear you casting. Others said, definitely keep his audio. It's perfect. And others said, just stop repeating what he says. While others were saying they couldn't understand anything Serral said and just keep repeating it. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do and just try to do it as best I can. Is he serious? He's going to burrow Zerglings? No way! A burrowed Zergling surround on the Hellions? Oh my god, that is so sick.
If I just macro well as well.
And he's just going to go double Evo chamber behind it. He's like, I need burrow later for the Infestors.
I was supposed to block that as well.
Oh, he was meant to block the third command center from landing though.
Oh, to block down as well.
That's a big mistake. He could have at least forced a scan out, but still.
This did work out very nicely, actually, what I did there. But the problem is that I absolutely macroed horrible this game, so...
Okay.
I have nothing. I have absolutely zero stuff.
I have zero stuff, he says, starting a fourth base and 1-1 at the 5-minute mark. So compared to Serral standards for macro, he feels like his macro is a bit off.
The first two Medivacs. But luckily he lost all the Hellions, so we'll see how aggressive he wants to be.
Surrounding the Hellions gives him 100% creep spread, though.
Creeps worse than him.
Yeah, he's like, look, I got the Hellions, I messed up my macro, I didn't get the burrowed Zergling onto the third. That was meant to already be waiting to block that third from landing. I still think it's okay. Oh, he gets a fresh mule. That's a really nice pickoff. A fresh mule, 3 or 4 SCVs. That's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, he isn't coming back. No, he did come back.
Okay, so
Darn it.
Serral, the reason, guys, where he was saying,
Made
oh,
all these
geez,
leads
he
for
isn't
no
coming
gain
back.
now. It's
If
really
those two
unfortunate.
medevacs hit him, he loses the game. He has no Zerglings at home. He was droning that whole time. So if Clem continued across the map, stimmed in with 16 Marines, the Queens wouldn't have been able to defend that on their own. So he's basically like, he was literally going, oh man, he's not coming back. He's gonna let me kill these depots, which
Oh my
seems
God, no
good.
drones,
But I'm gonna
that's the
lose my
problem.
third base. He's very lucky that Clem flew back there. This is kind of cool. He's surrounded the Hellions. You can imagine if this game goes perfectly, you also block the third. You then do a backstab to buy time. And because you don't have Banelings, you really want to make sure you get like a full surround with Zerglings, and your Queens are shooting down the medevacs very quickly. There we go. He cancels the Baneling nest and makes the infestation pit.
Why are this many OVs on the other side of the map?
Got a few too many Overlords out on the map that he's going to be losing, which is a bit of a mistake, but as always, several mistakes. It's like tiny has-breadth mistakes that he's super frustrated by, and for most of us, we're like, yeah, that's totally understandable. But it's that demand for perfection that we always talk about with Serral. He's never happy making the small mistakes the rest of us just kind of take for granted. That's why he is so bloody good at the game. He's not really spreading creep up the middle as well as he could down that like natural ramp. Okay, he's going to try and just surround these Marines. He wants to push them back so his creep spread can get out there a little bit faster. He's doing some nice injects. He still hasn't started pathogen glands by the looks of it. And how many gases is he on? Just 4 gases now. Okay, maybe he started some infestors without bothering for pathogen glands. So otherwise, I'm not sure where all that gas is going. 2-2 is started. That does take a lot of gas. And he's already got a hive starting at 7 minutes 20. That's kind of sick. Okay, the Zerglings and the Queens here are going to try and fight off these medevacs. Nice transfuses there. Most of his Zerglings aren't there right now, but he does manage to push it back. Nicely done. And just look at the map vision from those burrowed Zerglings as well. What I'd like to see from Serral is a few more Zerglings on the kind of push paths, like here,
Drone guns.
here,
Non-existent.
here.
which
Just
isn't
not on creep,
amazing,
but just to see when Clem's coming with a big push. Those are what I call like pervert Zerglings, like little. I used to have a nastier name for them, but I try not to use that anymore. Anyways, you guys can guess what it is if you want. But basically, yeah, they look up from underneath and spy the enemy units moving over. There we go. He sees that one. Oh, no way. He dodges the bloody scan, so he's gonna go back and try to burrow there in about 10 seconds. Beautiful play by Serral. He's got Spore Crawlers coming up right now as well. Oh my god, he's gonna get it. Yeah, he can burrow, I think, before the Widowmine goes off. Nice. Transfuse is going down. The Queens are surviving. He's going to split his Zerglings up. But if he can land 1 or 2 big fungals and smash some of these Marines, that's going to be huge. And he's got Ultras coming out as well. Here we go. Oh, good fungal. Gets about 5-6 of those Marines. Not bad. He's only got a couple of Infestors. I thought he'd have a few more. Ah, that's a missed fungal, yeah. Nice pickup by Clem. Clem's avoiding any of the big fungals, but because he's got the quick Ultras out, you can kind of see... This is what I always talk about. Infestors aren't necessarily about landing big game-ending fungals. It's about forcing your opponent to be safe versus those fungals. Which Clem has now grouped everything up. I think because he saw the fungals were exhausted. There's 2 fungals available right now. Ultras aren't going to be here for a while. Serral, yeah, he should be backstabbing 100%. If they set up like the perfect fight, you need to backstab basically. Oh, good retargeting on the Widowmines by Clem. But a nice Ling backstab coming in. He's going to try and go after these. You need speed overseers with these so you can actually snipe the Widowmines after you go in.
Everything.
Clem pulled his whole army
lost
home.
Like 50 supply those mines.
Yeah, Serral feels like he lost like 50 supply to Widowmines. It's not great, but it's bought him time. And these are Zerglings. You got to remember, the Zerglings are expendable. Losing 40, 50 supply of Zerglings sounds bad. It's so much worse if that's Ling Bane, because Banelings cost way more than a Zergling, 3 times as much in terms of total resource cost. So, but they cost the same supply as a single Zergling. So this is where the thing is, like, you're not used to having such a cheap army as you do when you're playing mass Zergling. Because that's essentially what he's playing. It's just Zerglings plus a couple of Infestors. And obviously Ultras as the game goes on. Oh, I don't know about this one. Serral's taking some big Widowmine hits. And now he's getting pushed in on the top.
My army in 2 spots. That was such a beginner mistake. I forgot how to play the game for a moment. I forgot you can split your army.
I forgot how to play the game for a minute. Just think Serral says. Having his whole army on the right side and not having it split. That is a pretty big mistake at this level of ZVT, because you know Clem's always going to have at least a drop out there, if not having his army split. But now Serral does defend it. He's going to group up on the bottom.
Play like a little bit of apes. Where would the fun be in it? Okay, let's push.
Okay, he's going to hit the bottom.
Don't kill everything and just get going.
Ooh, okay. All right, here we go. Widow Mines are there. They're going to get surrounded. Okay, this time having the speed overseas. He kills a lot of the Widow Mines before they can fire. Is he just going to crack in right now? Oh my god, the fungal on the Marines on the left is huge. The Lings get in the natural. The wall doesn't raise. Oh my god, this might just be the end. Did he just kill Clem?
Am I not?
Did he just kill Clem right then? There are ghosts coming out, so he's got to be careful, but he just tore the natural wall down. He's got Adrenal. He's got 2-2. I don't think 3-3 is done just yet, but it probably will be soon. I mean, this is insane, just how explosive this style is. And he's getting big damage, and look at that. Fungal on the SCVs. Oh, he's going to lose the planetary and a lot of the SCVs. Clem just has to tap out. You
no
kidding
way,
me?
that just works that well.
Is that it? What? What?
No way, that just works that well.
No way that just works out well, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised as well. That was awesome.
It was a quite surprisingly well working push there, but I did get my ultras really fast there. And I did get in a good spot. I didn't even play that game well. I was completely getting outmined the whole game. But I just killed him with that timing.
Getting outmined the whole game, but
Yeah,
remember, a lot of that mining is
I was
gas.
completely getting outmined.
So when it comes to raw units, this is one of the things with this style, which is easy to kind of forget. So we'll watch those graphs again. Basically, your army is almost pure mineral income. So the thing is, Clem might be mining an extra 1,000 or 2,000 more gas, like say 1,500 more gas a minute than you, maybe 1,000 more gas a minute, which sounds like a lot. But in terms of the mineral units, which are the units which actually matter in the battles, usually, like if you're able to do this with just Zerglings, it doesn't matter that you're not mining that gas. So that's what's so interesting here is like, look at the worker count on this graph, right? So we've got there, and you can see Serral did not have a great worker count by any means, right? Like he was basically barely ahead at a few points, and that's what he's talking about with his opening wasn't that good. So I don't think the burrow opening really paid off. If he had macroed a little bit better, like he said, and also got the block on the third base, maybe it would have been a little better. But despite that, there's just this raw efficiency of saying, look, this worker count, the income, he goes to the resource collection, doesn't look great. But if it was just mineral versus mineral, if we had that graph, I do think he'd still be a bit ahead of Clem. And that's the most important thing. So there's like this weird power to, obviously that the weakness is you're playing with mass Zerglings, right? Like the power is if you take the good fights, Zerglings are just amazingly cost efficient. If you end up in the bad fight where, you know, the fact that you've got super fragile units that clump together and die to Hellbats and Widowmines really bad comes and bites you in the butt, it can really kick your ass. But I think basically, hey, we just see really, really cool stuff. And man, I got to just say, hats off to the opening. The fact that he goes for that bloody burrowed Zergling surround on the Hellions, this was really cool. He burrows 8 Zerglings on that ramp, knowing the Hellions are going to go up there at some point. And remember that a few years ago, unburrow speed actually got buffed for Lings and Hydras. I mean, this was such a cool move. I want to see him refine this build and pull this out in a tournament because that is slick. That is so bloody slick, man. That was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just a quick little review of this game since Serral is actually refining his Infestor Ling build. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you're enjoying other first-person view casts of some of the greatest players out there, check out some of the other videos on screen, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye and good night.